Good morning, DIY health habit family. I reached out to you on New Year's Eve and asked each and every one of you what you wanted from me in this Facebook group. And so many of you wanted exercise tips and advice on exercise. So here I am actually in my basement. I've been up for about 30 minutes, so here's my little routine that I do pretty much every morning. I get up, I have a pre-workout snack. It's usually toast with peanut butter and honey. Then I do my daily devotional. And good morning, John. Good morning, Rosa. Thanks for joining in early this morning. And so after my daily devotional, I come down here into this 1925 dungeon of a basement, and I have my girls' Lego tables here and my workout mat, and I work out. So I'm going to take you through kind of a sample of what I do, give you some tips along the way, and then we'll go from there. So I don't know how often I'll do this, but I just thought with everybody asking me so much about exercise tips and my conversations with them, that I would just come on and do a little impromptu workout this morning for everyone. So here we go. The first thing that I do is I do a little soft tissue release, or SMR, which is soft tissue or soft muscle release. So I take this exercise stick and I just start to kind of warm up my muscles a little bit. And I'm going to get the back of my neck, get rid of some of that tension. And I just go quick. It doesn't have to be anything that's lengthy. But I try and just hit every single group because I'm going to do a full body workout today. So I'm doing upper body, a little bit of lower body, some core. Let me grab this chair. This is actually a broken chair. The back of it broke a couple years ago, but I kept it because I use it for my workout. So it's really nice because I can just use it for a little bit of extra support. That way I don't have to bend over. And I get my hamstrings, just finished my quads, get my glute muscles and my piriformis muscle and my buttock area, and I just switch legs. So, like I said, it doesn't have to be anything super extensive. I'm just waking up my muscles because I've been sleeping all night. So I do the same thing on both sides. Make sure everything is balanced and even. And then I come down and get my shins. I have a lot of plantar fasciitis issues, so I like to make sure that my calves and my feet are nice and loose. And then I just roll on the bottom of my feet. Any products that I'm using are actually on my website. I teach people how to have like their own home gym, and that's what I do because frankly I don't have time to go to a gym. I think it would be great. I've belonged to many gyms before, but in my current stage of life with 2 kids and a husband on 3rd shift, he's not even home yet. So like I wouldn't be able to get my workout in this morning if I had to go somewhere. All right. So the next thing is I grab my foam roller and I'm just going to roll out the front of my legs. And for the stick, I tend to do 15 to 20 strokes. For the foam roller, I maybe do 10 strokes, just back and forth. And if I find a tight area, then I might spend a little bit of extra time. But again, I'm not trying to spend all my time with my warm-up. So I'm going to get the sides. As you can see, I get a little bit of an upper body workout here, just supporting my weight. And I get the backs of my legs as well. I'll turn this way. So right now I'm kind of working upper body and I'm working some core, because you do have to be a little bit strong to support your body weight. When I'm doing the front of my legs and the back of my legs, I'm actually keeping my feet in neutral, but then I'm rotating them out and I'm rotating them in. And then I get those gluteal muscles again. This is a little bit firmer. Well, that's probably not true. It's the foam roller is a little less forgiving than the stick because it's thicker. So I can really kind of get in to the muscles a little bit deeper, which is why I use the stick first. Good morning, Joelle. People are tuning in. I appreciate that. You asked for exercises, so I'm giving you my workout here. Sorry to turn my back to you. All right, so I've worked my legs. Now I'm going to go to my back. Again, this takes a little bit of core to support your body weight, but it's a nice, good way to kind of get the blood flow going to your muscles. I'm getting right and left side, and I'll support my head a little bit here. And if I was only doing this for a workout, I might just hang out here for a bit and kind of get some stretches in as well. But I really don't have time for that this morning. So I'm nice and loosened up, and I'll do a couple of stretches here for my back, just rolling forward. I have to keep my back nice and loose because I had a roller coaster injury in 2004. Had whiplash, maybe even a mild concussion, because as soon as I got off of a couple of rides, I started vomiting. And so I definitely had the whiplash, mild concussion, probably wasn't diagnosed for it. But I had some back and some pelvic issues. Ever since then, if I don't keep my back loose, I'm gonna have problems during the day with some pain or even numbness and tingling in my legs. So I don't have any of that as long as I keep up with my exercises. So we get a little rotation. And all of this is meant to give my back a little bit of rotation so that when I'm doing my exercises, I'm nice and warmed up. You know, we don't want to twist our back, but we need to be able to rotate and do work during the day. So this keeps things nice and loose. This next exercise is what I call the open book. So I'm inhaling and opening and exhaling. I typically do about 3 of those. Again, sorry to have my back to you. Alright, so that is my warm-up. I always keep my shoes off for that because I had to work on the bottoms of my feet with the stick. So, alright, let's put some shoes on now. I hope everybody is doing well. This is the first full week back to work, or maybe a normal schedule for a lot of people. And I know I have a lot going on this week, but I wish you all well with your week. Pray for each and every one of you. All right. Who else? Good morning, Shelia. Sorry. All right, so that is the warm-up. We went through the stick, we went through the foam roller, and now it's time to do a little bit of core. I'm going to grab a ball. All right, so what I do with this, I'll sit this way so you can see, is when you get fitted for a ball, you want to make sure that your hips and your knees are at 90 degrees. That is the right size ball for you. And I'm just doing some breathing, some abdominal work, some pelvic floor work. So core is your diaphragm is on top, your pelvic floor is on the bottom. Then you have in the front wall of the core, you have your abdominals, and in the back of the core you have these little muscles called multifidi and rotators, that more so multifidi, but those help to stabilize your core. So you get pressure from the top, pressure from the bottom, pressure from the front, and pressure from the back. So I just like to make sure I'm working those and staying on top of those. And I incorporate breathing with that. So I will breathe in, my belly will go out as the air comes in, and when I breathe out, my belly will go in. So when I do that, I breathe in, and then breathe out, contract my abs, and lift up my pelvic floor. I like doing these in sitting because I can feel myself lift up off the ball. The starting position for this is actually laying down. If you have trouble with pelvic floor issues, I definitely recommend laying down. This is a tougher position because of gravity. You have to lift against gravity. So let me go through these. Inhale, exhale. And I don't count because I'm just doing 10 of these with an inhale and an exhale. And you can see my stomach moving in and out. Again, inhale, belly goes out. Exhale, belly goes in. Contract the abs and lift up the pelvic floor. All right, so that's 10. If I wanted to do any type of endurance with that, I could do 10 for 10 seconds. Good morning, Will. Thanks for joining in. We're doing a little morning Monday workout today. So the next thing I'm going to start with now is some chest exercises. So you will see these are 8-pound weights. I'm going to do a chest press and a chest fly, and then I'm going to do some bridges for my gluteal muscles. And I just go back and forth between upper body and lower body. Let me move back. I hope the sound is good on this. you can always increase your sound. I have mine all the way up to capture, but I can't wear a microphone because I'm moving around all the time. So I'm just going to do 10 reps. And on the chest press, I like to do a little plus with that. So I'm going to push up, plus, and come down. All right, during this whole time, I am keeping my abdominals nice and tight, my core and my pelvic floor engaged. And now I'm going to come up, out and do a pec fly. You want to keep the weights over your chest, not over your face. And that was 10. So I'm going to lift that, and then I'm going to go right into a bridge. That was 10. Go back to my chest. And then finish with that second set of 10 on the flies. Back to the second set of the bridges. And that part is done. So you notice I'm not talking when I'm doing the exercises, and that is because if you're talking, then you're not closing the loop between your neck or your cervical spine and your abs. What I mean by that is the resting position of your tongue is on the roof of your mouth, and you want to make sure that you are protecting your neck by keeping the resting position of your tongue. Why that's important is because you can put a lot of strain on C3, C4, even C5 if you're talking, chewing gum, things like that. So you want to have a nice stable spine with your exercises. It's okay to do the talk test every once in a while, but when you're lifting weight, you want to focus on that and make sure that your neck and your back are protected. Best way to do that is to keep your tongue resting on the roof of its mouth, so that, or of your mouth, so that you're protecting your neck when you're exercising. So you won't see me talk. Fitness instructors a lot of times have some neck issues just because they talk all the time as they're exercising. What they should do is actually instruct the class, walk around, make sure everybody is doing the class or the exercises properly instead of talking while getting their workout in. I am a big fan of fitness instructors who do not get their workout in with their class but are instructing more than they are doing. All right, next exercise, this is a 10-pounder. I'm going to do a row, and I do my rows a little bit differently. I like to set my shoulder blade. And what I mean by that is I'm going to lift my shoulder. I'm going to squeeze my shoulder blade in and then row. So it looks like set, up, down, relax. Set, up, down, relax. When you first start these, I recommend going that slow. I've been doing these for a few years, so I can be a little bit quicker on it. Ten on that side. The reason I like to use a ball instead of a chair is because now this is an unstable surface. So I'm giving feedback to my other shoulder and creating stability in my shoulder joint by just having an unstable ball instead of a chair or a bench. The reason that's nice is because now I'm working both sides just differently. So again, we'll do our set, up, down, relax. And that was 10. And now I'm going to continue to work my legs with a little bit of a side leg raise. So with this, let's see if I can get into the picture. I want my legs slightly behind me because that's going to work my glutes. And most people have what we call a weak gluteus medius. A weak gluteus medius makes your hip drop. So if you're a runner, if you're an athlete, if you're in the military, whatever job you do, even just walking around, if you have a weak gluteus medius, your hips will drop, or you can have another problem that is not good. So if you have knee problems or ankle problems, if this is weak, your knee likes to fall in like that because it can't stabilize you at the pelvis and the hip. If your knee falls in, you can get patellofemoral issues or where your kneecap's not tracking properly. Or, especially for female athletes, it can set them up for an ACL tear. So I don't want any of that. I don't want you to have any of that. So I get on my side, I bring my legs slightly behind me, and I do 10 reps. The goal is not to hold on, because I want my core working at the same time. I'm a big fan of exercises that do multiple things. Because for people who don't have a lot of time, we want to work and be efficient. All right. So I'm going to go back to my row. All right, I'm going to get 10 reps again on the other side. All right, so if you are just starting out an exercise program, these weights might be a little heavy for you. If you're used to working out, they might be a little bit too light for you. All right, I'm going to take those, get my second set of hip raises or leg raises. With all these exercises, I'm keeping my core engaged. I'll warn you, I think one of my kids is up, so we might get some company here in a little bit. They're excited. Let's see, came out of the camera. They're excited because it's the first day back to school. All right, so that takes care of, I've done chest, I've done some gluteus maximus with the bridge, I've done the row for my back, and I've done gluteus medius strengthening with the side leg raise. Now we're going to do a little biceps. So here, I'll stand this way. I like to drag these up the side of my body. When you keep your elbows back instead of forward, you isolate the biceps. You isolate the biceps and kind of take the shoulder out of the picture. I don't want to work shoulders right now. I want to work my biceps, so we want to isolate that. Now we'll do a little bit of core. I stagger my feet, and I come up and hold for 30. If you're just starting this, you may want to hold for 20. Switch sides. So this works your obliques, and it also works your gluteus medius muscle. Okay, so my time may not be exact. That's okay. I just count to 30. Some days, I admit, my 30 seconds might be a little bit faster. I am not always super accurate with my time because I'm trying to get my workout done. So the important thing is you're getting it done. All right. So biceps is done. We're back to the core. Let's see, I'll do this side first. All right, let's get a little shaky on that one towards the end there. All right, so biceps and core is done. Let's see, I have a little triceps work to do. So I grab my ball again, and I'm going to set my shoulder blade like I did with my row. I'm going to come up here. Let me scoot forward here. But this time, I'm going to keep it set the whole time to get my tricep kick back in. This is a 5-pound weight. I did 8-pounders on the biceps if people are wanting to know. All right, so 10 each on that. And now another core exercise. This is an opposite arm, opposite leg. I like to use a knuckle position for my hands because this kind of bothers my wrists. So, and then I'm going to do, let's see, I might not have room there. So I'm going to do this, trying to keep my back straight. And when I do this, I'm really trying to push out with my heel. So that exercise works your back, works your core, helps your balance, works your glutes. I have a lot of glute weakness, so I tend to do that more. I haven't looked at squats or anything like that today. That's not my workout today. That's for another day. But this is actually my workout that I'm doing today that I'll probably do for the next 2 to 3 weeks. And then I'll cycle something else in. I've done this workout for maybe a week or 2 already, but I just noticed some weakness in myself, and I wanted to target that for a bit before I went back to doing squats and things like that. All right, 10 that way, 10 on the other side. Okay, we'll go back to the last set of the upper body, lower body, or opposite arm, opposite leg. And the other side. Okay, so basically at this point, I have worked my large muscle groups. You could actually stop there, and that would be a good workout. I typically work out with weights 3 days a week, so I'm going to keep going with some small muscle groups and show you those. But you could stop here, and then if you wanted to do weights 5 days a week or 6 days a week, you could do the next set of exercises on the opposite day. Again, I do my weights 3 days a week, so I'm going to combine it. But you could stop here and take a break. All right, this is how or where I work my shoulders. I call these shoulder PREs, which means they're progressive resistance exercises. And I incorporate my pelvis in with these to help with pelvic range of motion, back range of motion. Again, like I mentioned before, I had that roller coaster injury, so if I don't keep my pelvis and my back loose, I'm going to have problems in the day. I notice a big difference, like if I'm on vacation and I don't have my normal exercise routine, I get really tight and sore after about a week of not doing my exercises. So I'm very faithful to my exercises. Let's see. Thanks, Rosa. Yes, leaving ready to go to work. I completely understand. You're on Eastern time, so it's 7:15 for you. Still 6:15 here for me, Central time. All right, so I'm going to keep my shoulders low. I don't want to be hiking up my shoulders. I'm still keeping my core engaged. And I'm just going to come up. About shoulder level. Doing 10 reps. These are 3-pounders. Okay, then I'm going to inhale, and then I'm going to exhale. And do an anterior, posterior pelvic tilt. All right, I'm going to go to the next set. So the first set was flexion. This set is scaption. That's just physical therapy terms. You can also think like a 45-degree angle. And now I'm going to do a lateral tilt. Notice my upper body's not moving. Everything is coming from the pelvis for the movement to help with mobility. And notice that I'm switching back and forth with different exercises, but I'm never stopping. That way my muscles that are resting are actively resting because I'm moving something else. It saves time. This is abduction or a lateral shoulder raise. And then I'm going to do that other tilt. And then I'm back to my shoulder flexion, PRE. And now I'm doing all the tilts, going clockwise. Might be reversed in Facebook screen. This just puts everything together. All right, now I'm back to scaption. And then I'm doing counterclockwise. All right, and then I'm back to the lateral shoulder raise. All right, so that is set. I did 3 pounds on that. If you have not done those before, those are small rotator cuff muscles. They are not big muscles. They're rotator cuff muscles and deltoid muscles. If you haven't done them, I would start with no weight. If they're easy, you can go to a can of soup or 1 pound, get up to 3 pounds. My athletes, I really don't take past 5 pounds. Maybe on the lateral raise, I might do 8 pounds. But I don't load up on those. They're small muscles, so they don't need a lot of bulk and heavy lifting. They need stability, and that's the point of strengthening those. Let me switch balls. Okay, I have 2 size balls. This one I don't use to sit because it is too tall for me. See, I'm not at 90-90, but I like this one for when I'm doing the next group of exercises. You do not have to switch balls. You do not have to purchase 2 balls. Any of the, oh, we have somebody else joining. Good morning, Patty. Thanks for joining in. I'm showing my workout this morning. Any products that I've used, whether it's the weights, the balls, the stick, the foam roller, you can go to DeWittPTWellness.com, click on recommended products, scroll down, and all the products that I'm using are in an Amazon link off my website. So for less than $100, I think all of this, maybe around $90 for all of that, you can have your own home gym right in your basement, in an exercise room, your living room. You don't need a lot of space. And that was one of the things that I think a lot of people are hesitant of, is that they feel like they have to buy a lot of equipment. You just need some 3 pounders, 5 pounders, 8 pounders, maybe 10 pounders, maybe 12 pounders, depending on how much weight you think you're going to go up to. An exercise ball, the stick, and the foam roller, and you are set. You don't need much else. You get a much better workout using your body weight as resistance than pushing a lot of machines, because machines are set up for the average person, which is about 5'7" to 5'11" on a height. I'm 5'2.5" and shrinking. I don't fit into a lot of those machines correctly, so I could hurt myself because I just can't line up with the machine and the angle of the machine with my hip, with my shoulder. So I find them a little bit uncomfortable. Plus, when you use dumbbells and you use free weights, you're going to get a much better workout because each arm has to do its fair share. On a machine, when you push out or you pull back, the dominant or stronger arm, or if you're doing a leg extension or a hamstring curl, the dominant or stronger leg is going to do more work. So you're going to continue to have imbalances. Whereas with free weights, you're going to have to make your body do what it needs to do on each side. Now, having said that, free weights can be a little bit tricky, because if you're not strong enough and you pick the heavier weight, then you can get hurt. Start with no weight, start with low weight. Better to be easy than to strain yourself and get injured. So on this next group of exercises, I highly recommend that you do not start with weight. Get the form down correct before you add weight. Good morning, Tony. Thanks for tuning in this morning. So we are nearing the last set or last group of exercises that I do. I'm going to face this way so you can see the exercise a little bit better. I might cut out of the picture a bit. So if you remember when I did the row and I did the tricep kickback, I set my shoulder blade. It's the same thing with this. I'm doing some row again with smaller weight because I am fully against gravity, so it makes it harder. And I'm also doing a shoulder extension to work my rhomboids and my lats. Good morning, Pamela. Thanks for joining in. So this group of exercises is all about postural support and controlling these back muscles. That's really important because in a society where we're so forward, we do a lot of this. So these next group of exercises are really great to combat that and keep that upright posture to help with postural control and shoulder stability. So I'm going to get into position. What I don't want people to do is to arch their head up or to drop their head down. So you should be in a neutral position with your neck. Right, so we set the shoulder blades and row. Set and row. So if I slow that down, it's set, up, down, relax. Set, up, down, relax. Go that slow when you are first trying this. Do not use weight if you've never done this before. These are small muscles and you will feel this. Every athlete I've worked with, whether it's a little leaguer, a Division I college, or professional athlete, the first time they do these, they are surprised at how much these work. Always start with no weight, get the technique first, and then add weight. So set, up, down, relax. All right, I think that was 10. And then I go right into shoulder extension. Set, up, down, relax. Okay, and from there, I'm going to go into hip extension. So that's working my glutes, and I go back and I'll do my second set. All right, and then my second set of extension. And hip extension. All right. So that's that. Those were 5-pounders. These are 3. These next 2 last exercises for the back, a little out of breath. These are harder than the ones that I use the 5-pounders with. So you may progress a lot slower on these 2. Most people tend to be pretty weak in these 2, so including myself. All right. So same thing, set, up, down, relax. These are also known as Ys. So you're creating the letter Y with your body. I just have to reposition myself here. All right, and then the next one is out to the side. So set, up, down, relax. You're just going parallel to the floor. All right, and then I come and do a gluteal press, pushing my heel up to the ceiling. And then back to round 2. And I'm getting a little tired. Which brings to a good point that if I was getting tired and I could not maintain good form, I'd need to stop. Don't just crank out the numbers. Always use good form. Okay, and last set of the gluteal press. And that, my friends, is the end of the weight workout. Generally speaking, this takes about 45 minutes. If I do upper body, or if I do large muscle groups and then small muscle groups. But like I said earlier, you can split that and do large muscle groups 3 days a week and small muscle groups 3 days a week. And then you're probably looking at, for large muscle groups, maybe 30 minutes. And small muscle groups 15 minutes. You can break that up. I do my weights 3 days a week, so I combine it all together. I'm actually going to get on my treadmill here and do some rucking. So rucking is just urban walking with a rucksack, but it's dark out. I don't think my husband's home yet, so I do it on the treadmill. On the weekends, I try and get out and ruck on outside, weather permitting, or do trails. So that is the weight workout. I'm not going to show you a flexibility routine today because I'm still working out, but this gives you a really good idea. In 30 to 45 minutes you can get a nice solid strengthening program that targets pretty much all of your body. I target it mostly gluteal muscles for the lower legs, but that's because most people tend to be very, very weak in their gluteal muscles, including myself, which is why I spend a little bit more extra attention onto them. I will try and come on another time to show you a flexibility routine. I do have a routine on YouTube for that, Stretching 101. And if you need that link, just comment below and I can post that in the group here as well. But just wanted to come on. A lot of you reached out to me and responded to the questions I asked for what were your healthy goals for 2020, and many of you said you'd like some exercise tips. So I thought this morning I got up and I'm like, you know what, I should just go on live and do my workout. So you got my 1925 dungeon basement with my kids' Legoland in the background. Nice rafters up above, nothing fancy, but that's okay because you don't need to have all the glitz and glamour to work out at home. You just need some basic equipment like a exercise ball, some hand weights, and a little bit, maybe a foam roller or the stick. You don't have to have both. You can do one or the other. I like both because they do something different. But it just gives you an idea that for less than $100, you can have your own fitness gym in your home and you don't have to go anywhere. Plus it's a one-time fee. Like, this stuff doesn't break. I've had my equipment 20 years. I've been a physical therapist for almost 21, well, actually almost 22 years come July. And a lot of this equipment I've had for probably about that amount of time. So it lasts for a very, very long time. I hope this was helpful. If you have specific questions, please reach out, private message me, ask in the group. That's what this group is for. Also, if you're really not sure where to get started, I'm happy to have a conversation with you to help you with that. If you have not exercised in the past month, or especially in the past 3 months, if you've not had a physical, I encourage you to first get a physical, make sure everything is A-okay with your health before you start an exercise program. And if you've had a physical but you haven't worked out in a while, you can do these exercises, but you want to do everything without weight or very, very, very low weight to get started, just so you're not sore. You might even split this up into 3 different workouts so that you're not doing everything all at once and kind of shocking your system. I'm an avid workout person. I'm kind of a gym rat, so I can work out like this probably every day and not experience too much soreness, but I've been doing this for a while. So just be cautious. Again, if you're not sure where to start, just reach out to me, private message me, and I'm happy to help you out. Have a great day and enjoy your Monday and your first maybe full week back in the new year. God bless. Take care.